We're back September 15th, 2017, the 7th show win. Round of applause, fellas. 1 time for it, 2 times for it, 3 times for it. Wait, it's what?
Showtime.
It's what?
Showtime.
It's what?
Showtime.
And we here with Jansen, cooler than the other side of the pillow, Harris. Goron, the great Sue Snod, and the one and only, often imitated, never duplicated Tone Taylor. Happy Friday, fellas.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How y'all doing today, man?
Feeling great, feeling good.
Let's get into it early. I have an update first, an NFL update. Rookie Deshaun Watson scored a 49-yard touchdown to lead the Texans to victory over the Bengals 13-9 yesterday, Thursday Night Football. The Bengals are 0-2, and they haven't scored a touchdown this season. Just wanted to add that before our first topic.
No problem.
No problem. Just put that out there. Baker Mayfield to college football threw 386 passing yards and 3 touchdowns to lead at the time number 5 Oklahoma past the number 2 Ohio State. Mayfield was excellent on the road and had a stellar performance against Ohio State. Is he the Heisman Trophy favorite now to win the Heisman Trophy?
Let me say this first. That was a spectacular performance by Mayfield. Very, very spectacular. The numbers he put up and the opponent that he did it against was amazing. It was an amazing feat. However, I feel Lamar Jackson reclaimed his number 1 spot. His dynamic, he's so dynamic, it's hard to give him his just due. That's why he was Heisman Trophy winner last year. But his performance, Jackson was 30 for 46 passing for 378 yards and 2 touchdowns, and another 107 yards on the ground against Louisville's 35-28 victory over Purdue. I mean, that's why I feel he'll probably be the Heisman front runner after week 1. I mean, Mayfield did an amazing job, but just his dynamic, you know, he broke the record last year. What was it? 3,300 yards rushed for 115.
Yeah, to me that's nice, but at the moment, if we're talking about now, I have to put Baker Mayfield number 1 just because of the quality of victory on the road in Ohio State. Tough place to win. Nobody thought they would win. So for right now, I will say he's over Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson has a chance to prove himself this weekend. Home to Clemson, one of the best defenses in the country, the best front 4 in the country. So he has a chance to prove himself. But don't get me wrong, Jackson's 300 yards and passing and 100 yards rushing. He's the only quarterback to do that for the first 2 weeks. So
over 1,000 yards already in total yardage.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
2 games.
But again, like Goran was saying off air, he wants to see the quality opponents. Even though I don't think Purdue and North Carolina are bad opponents, but Ohio State trumps everything. So Baker Mayfield on the road, I have him a slight favorite. Slight favorite. So
I mean, I think it's too early to decide who's the Heisman favorite right now. I mean, both of them are obviously the number 2 candidates, but I think it's too early in the season. I think we need to let a few more games to be played out to have a.
But you got to pick one.
You got to.
I mean, if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Baker right now. But I feel like Lamar Jackson eventually is gonna take it. I think he's gonna have a better season than overall Baker right now. So I mean, but yeah, I think it's a little bit too early. So definitely. But before we get into the next update, we do next topic. We do have an update. The FIBA Eurobasket Championship. The final contenders are Serbia and Slovenia. So. You know, shout out to Serbia, my home country. Hopefully we win. And the 3rd place will be Spain and Russia. So please stay tuned to that. But to the next topic, in the primetime game this week, Clemson will try to win their 2nd big game in a row when they go to the road to play Lamar Jackson and number 14 Louisville Cardinals. In a game that featured over already 1,000 yards of offense last year, Clemson won the game at home with 42-36. Do you guys think the results will change?
This game, for me, it was tough. It's tough just because Clemson's offense isn't the same, as y'all can see, as it was last year with Deshaun Watson, the running game, how they were just firing all cylinders. It was a veteran offensive team. But to put that in consideration, Kelly Bryant, he's not Deshaun Watson, but he's taken over. He can run the football. He leads the team in rushing. He's passing. He's okay. I didn't like their performance against Auburn last week. I thought they were sloppy. I know they won the game. It was a defensive battle. But Clemson's offense is pretty weak. Their defense is top notch. That's the reason I'm picking them to win this game. I love Louisville. I love Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson is way, way, way more talented than anything Clemson has offensively. But that defensive line is for real. Austin Bryant, Cleveland Farrell, Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence. These guys are all going to be All-Americans. 4 guys. It's unheard of. And let's not forget Louisville up front. They were good last year on the offensive line, and they haven't been challenged yet. So will they be able to protect Lamar Jackson? I don't think so. I think Clemson can get at least 5 sacks. So that's why I'm picking Clemson to win 30-21. Lamar Jackson's going to struggle a lot. He's going to get yards, probably throw a couple picks, but he won't have time to move in the pocket and do what we saw him do against Purdue and North Carolina.
I think this will be a very, very close game, possibly a difference of a field goal. Both teams have quarterbacks that are threats on their feet when it comes to that goal line, So that's a very good asset for both. A highlighted matchup will definitely be, Lamar Jackson versus that Clemson defense. That Clemson defense is stout, arguably the best in college football. However, the problem for last year for Louisville was protecting Lamar Jackson. He got beat up a lot, even though he had record-breaking numbers. He did get hit a lot, and that defense, that front 4, is definitely going to put pressure on them. And they made it they're just due to address that situation for their O-line this offseason. They weren't really tested in the first 2 games, but this game they will definitely be tested. But the fourth quarter will come down to making plays on offense and getting stops on defense. And
Clemson's going to get the stops.
And that's why I say I trust on both sides. I trust Clemson. Lamar, I trust him offensively, but I don't trust that defense totally. So I will have to go with Clemson.
I don't trust Clemson.
I don't think Louisville's defense has been tested. They played Purdue and North Carolina, which are both questionable offenses.
Hold on. North Carolina.
It's questionable. You don't know what you're going to get out of them every single game. You don't know whether it's a high score. It's questionable, like I said. And I think because of that, they haven't been quote unquote tested yet. And I think because of that, they're going to struggle definitely on defense, and definitely on offense because of the Clemson defense. So I'm going with Clemson.
So it's Clemson around the board?
Yeah, and I would say, last point to make, I would say Clemson would blow them out, but their offense is questionable. They had a good game against Kent State, but that's just about it.
Definitely. So moving on to a very beautiful topic for myself, Laker Nation on December 18th will be retiring Kobe Bryant's jersey. Wait, not 1 jersey, 2 jerseys. Reactions on the Lakers retiring Kobe Bryant's jerseys number 8 and 24.
When I first seen this, it's not like, I'm going to say I was surprised. Not that I was surprised that they did it. It was just, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect them to retire 2. I thought they were going to retire 24, because I guess that was like the highlight of his career. I know he played with Shaq, but him just by himself, the 24 is the Kobe era. I know him and Shaq had the thing, but that was kind of more Shaq than Kobe. So, it's arguable, but there's no argument when he's 24. There's no argument here.
You're a Kobe guy.
No, I'm a big Kobe guy.
Exactly, and I'm feeling baffled of what you're speaking of right now.
Let's not disagree right here. Shaq was a dominant player, so was Kobe.
Taking nothing away.
But with the 24, we already know who's the most dominant player basically every single game. It's Kobe. When Shaq was on the team, it's questionable. That's why I was a little bit surprised.
It's not questionable. It's not. It's not.
What's your take on it?
I don't agree. But just going off what you're saying, that was first 10 years when it was him and Shaq. Understand. Everybody say, oh, Shaq won it. He was the MVP. That's good and all great. I love it. But understand, that time when Shaq got hurt, who carried the Lakers? What was it, 9 straight games of 40 points? Yes, they went to the finals, right? They went to the finals 3 years in a row. They won, yes. But everybody forgets that series against the Pacers when Shaq had 38, Kobe had about 35, 37. They both, double-double, but Kobe put up numbers. It was both of them. Shaq would not have no rings in LA if it wasn't for Kobe.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, that's all I need to hear.
For those first 3 years.
That's all I need to hear.
He did go out and win with Dwayne Wade, so it's not like.
Hold on 1 second.
Wait, what?
Just first of all, the disrespect towards Shaq.
Why is it disrespect?
I think we need a public apology, but my take on this first. Let me let Kobe shine real quick. 5-time NBA champion, 3 with the number 8, 2 with 24, one of the best leaders of all time, not just best basketball players. I think both jerseys should get retired. It's a unique situation. I'm not a huge Kobe guy, but he's definitely a top 10 player of all time.
Top 5.
I don't know about that. But I think he could still play in the NBA today. But speaking of basketball players who are definitely not in the top 5 right now, can't even make the top 20 or 30 according to ESPN's player rankings, Carmelo Anthony is ranked 64th best player in the NBA. Players like Lonzo Ball, Danny Green, Brooke Lopez are ranked over him. Does Carmelo Anthony deserve to be ranked at 64?
I mean, before we even answer this question, I want to know, first of all, who wrote this, what their credibility is, and do they deserve to be writing this? Because
and remember, I say it off air and I say it on air every week. ESPN, and I'll say it again. They have one member. It's Stephen A. It's half of Max Kellerman, and that's it. And you see garbage like this. Come on, this is supporting the facts right here.
Now we all know Carmelo's not one of the elite players of today. You know, he's not the Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, LeBron, Kevin Durant. He's not one of those. But you can name 63 players better than him? Really? You can name... and like Lonzo Ball. I know he had a great summer league and all this, triple-doubles. That's the summer league. That's not the regular season. We don't know what kind of player he will be when he plays against the best of the best. So to put Lonzo Ball at the least in front of Carmelo or just that high of a rank is just unacceptable. I don't know how you could say someone's better when they've never played one professional game in their whole career, where this guy hasn't averaged less than 20 his whole career. So, I mean, it's disrespectful to say the least. And whoever wrote this, they need to be fined.
And that's the funny part, that you know it's bad when you have guys on your regular cable show on ESPN, part of the brand, bashing the list. That's how you know it's just, I don't know who's running ESPN. That's funny. They don't want to put the names out there. But Carmelo Anthony, 64, to me, he should be at the least 25th. This guy never averaged under 20 points a game. He's still an elite scorer. Maybe he's not one of the best defenders, but is James Harden? No. I'm not saying Carmelo is top 10, but he's definitely top 30. Lonzo Ball, Avery Bradley, the list goes on. Even his own teammates. Why is Porzingis 22? Are you serious? Porzingis isn't even better than Carmelo Anthony. It's Carmelo's team. It's just a bias.
I've read this, and this was utterly ridiculous, downright blasphemy, and disrespectful.
Very.
So, you mean to tell me he was ranked 64th, right? Okay. There's about 30 teams in the NBA, right? So you mean to tell me there's about 2 players on each NBA team that's better than Carmelo Anthony?
I don't know what they're...
2 players on every NBA team that's better than Carmelo Anthony.
They also rank Joel Embiid higher than Carmelo Anthony. And he played what? How many months has he played? 2 months?
Arguably, once Carmelo averages 20 points this year, he will be only the 3rd player in NBA history to average more than 20 points for his career 15 years in a row. 15 seasons in a row.
But he's number 6.
The only person in front of him is Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain. But you're ranking, hold up, Danny Green.
Oh my God.
Robert Covington. I bet you. What team does Robert Covington play for? What team does Robert Covington play for?
That's a great question.
Sixers?
Sixers.
You have to squint your eyes and really think.
It's Sixers, right?
Yes. Jay Crowder.
That's
bad.
I mean, come on. He's not a bad player, but he's not better than Carmelo.
Jay Crowder. Stop it.
Yeah. Come on. Let's stop it and let's start with my segment right now.
The only segment where we break down top white athletes for the week.
This week we're talking about somebody special, one of my favorite players, and a former, or technically former MVP, right? Matt Ryan. So last Sunday, the Falcons played Chicago Bears and were victorious with a score of 23-17. Even though the game didn't go how most people expected, how most Falcons fans expected, it was still a victory. Matt Ryan he had a pretty good game in my opinion. He had a quarterback rating of 116 with a total of 321 yards on 21 out of 30 attempts. Now I want to highlight a few plays. Early, like mid-second quarter, it was 2nd and 13. He was getting pressured, and he decided, nobody's open. He scrambled for the first down, which ended up leading into a touchdown. And in the 4th quarter, early around the 10 to 12 minute marker, it was 3rd and 3. Matt Ryan was heavily pressured. It looked like he did some type of fake toss. did that, brought more pressure to him, and then chucked it down for an 88-yard touchdown to Austin Hooper.
Wow. What a historical performance.
Great. Amazing. Who did they play?
Okay, here we go. Now,
The Bears.
here we go with this. Now, I mean, did anybody else throw an 88-yard touchdown on the Jets? That's an equal team. I mean,
We're not talking
This is
about
what's
Jets.
great.
now,
Come on.
But I'm not done yet. Now, what I said, even though Matt Ryan had a decent game, mainly towards the end of the game, they definitely need to do a lot more. Definitely on defense,
I'll give them the
and more on offense. But let me get back to the defense. In the fourth quarter, there we had 4 back-to-back plays where the Chicago Bears could have won the game, but because they are who they are, they didn't. So I just want to highlight those 2 plays of him and basically say that he needs to do a better job, more like what he did towards the end of the
So
game.
let me ask you something real quick.
Go ahead.
Interject. So you said the Bears, they could have won the game on 3 separate plays, right?
Oh
But
yeah,
being
in
who
the
they
fourth.
are, they lost, correct?
True.
So you're saying if they played at least a moderate or maybe an okay team,
Definitely, that's a
Falcons
loss.
would have lost?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
But that's on the Falcons defense. We're highlighting Matt Ryan, who had, in my
He
opinion,
had a pretty good fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Pretty good fourth quarter. First 3 quarters, I don't know about that.
I mean, hey, the rust is worn off, so we'll definitely be ready for Green Bay.
Hometown hero.
Definitely. But coming up next, we're going to get into NFL and break down what happened in week 1. And then later on, we're going to pick the marquee games. And we'll get into Jansen's Give That Man a Raise and Return Your Paycheck. You listen to Topics on IBNX Radio.
And we're back. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Topics ATL. So let's get into it right now. Question. We're going to talk about the Giants real quick.
Woo.
The Giants crushed the Cowboys Sunday night 19-3 and held them without a touchdown. Odell Beckham Jr. was out due to injury. Does this loss prove that Odell Beckham Jr. is the most valuable player in the league that is not a quarterback?
Go ahead, Tone. This is your team, so break it down.
Well, since this is my team, and I was just utterly disgusted by the performance, I have to say I think he is. Because if you look at every NFL team, they move as high or as low as the quarterback takes them. Any good team, moderate team, is usually the quarterback that's the focus. If they get hurt, the team goes down. Now, if you look at the Giants, it looks by everybody's eyes that once OBJ goes down, everything goes down. Now, the last 7 games, we failed to reach 20 points. The last 7 games haven't reached 20 points. And that's with OBJ. Now, the defense keeps us in it. So, we're always 1 hit away from taking a lead, downright gritty games. And who makes those big plays? OBJ. You know, the score is 3-7, and you throw a slant to OBJ, and he takes it. It's a 5-yard slant. He takes it 60 yards, like he did against the Cowboys last year. He's arguably the most valuable player on the Giants and probably in the NFL. Now, he can go down. If he keeps this up with his record-breaking first 3 years, if he keeps it up this year, he can arguably be the first wide receiver to win the MVP.
Yeah, he definitely has the capability of doing that. And let me correct you, he's not arguably the best player on the Giants. He is the best player on the Giants when he's playing. And this loss definitely proves that without him, they have no chance of winning at all. They probably won't even make the playoffs. But, this also brings up another question, and what is Eli without Odell? And the game tells you he's a 21.1 quarterback rating. So he's...
First of all, I want to correct you too, and you as well. Odell Beckham Jr. is one of the most valuable players in the league. But let's not overlook this Giants defense. Cromartie, Eli Apple, Janoris Jenkins,
Well, we didn't get nothing away from
Damian Harrison, Landon Collins. These guys, to me, are elite. Top 2 defense when it comes to talent. The Seahawks. It's unfortunate how bad their offense is. Now, when Odell Beckham Jr. comes back, they're going to be in better sync. It's going to help Brandon Marshall out. But this is still a team with issues.
But no, that's
The
why I
Giants
said.
can't run the ball. Brandon Marshall looks lost. He's going to learn the
He's
system.
gonna learn the system.
No receiver cracked 60 yards. No running back cracked over 16 yards. These issues aren't going to be all solved by Odell Beckham Jr. What I'm saying is there's a Julio Jones out there, to me, that's more valuable that is a type of guy who could get vertical. He's a better player. Antonio Brown right now is more valuable.
More valuable to who?
More valuable to their team.
No way.
As a non-quarterback.
No way.
And to me, J.J. Watt,
No way.
with his leadership ability,
Okay.
Odell Beckham Jr. is a tad bit immature, in my opinion.
So, all right, he's immature, but let's talk about value to a team.
Yes, value
All
to a team.
You took it, Julio Jones. You take Julio Jones. How many catches? He had a few games where he had, what,
One catch.
2 catches, 1 catches. Did they win?
That's not the point, though.
No, you said valuable to a team,
Exactly.
correct?
So-
So exactly, you take, sorry to cut you off, but you take OBJ out of that lineup. The team is in dismay. Like I said, the defense will keep them in the game, but their offense struggles with him on the field, and it takes him to go a 50-yard slant or a touchdown, an incredible one-hand touchdown grab to win a game. Now, you talk about Antonio Brown for the Steelers. They still have another wide receiver and a dynamic running back. You can't say the same for the Giants.
Definitely. But speaking of players who were absent, this player was basically absent himself. In his debut with the Saints on Monday night, Adrian Peterson rushed for 18 yards on 6 carries and only 9 plays. Is he in the wrong system, or is he just simply past his prime?
Well, Adrian Peterson obviously is in the wrong system. For anybody who thinks he's past his prime is utterly wrong. First of all, let's get on Drew Brees. Drew Brees threw the ball 37 times Monday, right? That number is pretty low for him. He's going to throw about 40 times, which means he's in the wrong system. You got Alvin Kamara. We'll give him a shout out. He's actually from Norcross, played for Norcross High School. He carried the ball more times than Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Mark Ingram carried the ball 6 times. So this tells you he's in the wrong system. 6 carries on 18 yards, that's not that bad if you're going to go on to get 20 to 25 carries to 30 carries, which he's accustomed to with the Vikings. He didn't get a chance, and he should be mad. A quote came out today on Yahoo I was reading that said that he didn't come to play 9 series. He didn't sign to just play 9 series, and he's right. That's the truth. Adrian Peterson needs more carries.
Definitely. And to bring that up, it's like, why did you get Adrian Peterson? You know what he's good at. He's good at running the football. And if you don't use him to do what he's best at, why get him? Trade him for somebody that fits in your system. Like, I mean, they could have got anybody, really. I mean, but if you're going to get Adrian Peterson, use him to run the football. Don't give him 9 series when he's accustomed to 25. Now, necessarily, you don't have to give him 25. You can give him more than 9. Or at least every time he's on the field, run the football, because that's what he's good at.
Yeah, go ahead and trade Mark Ingram. Go ahead and trade him.
All right. Just to piggyback off both what you both said, I do agree it's a combination of both, but more so the wrong system. And I had my mind on something else, but just listening to what both of you were saying, trade Ingram. Ingram was a Pro Bowler last year and he rushed for 1,000 yards. You can't trade him.
Definitely not.
You cannot trade him, and he's younger. No way you're going to trade him.
But Ingram can't do the same thing Adrian Peterson could do.
Yes, he can. Wait, first and foremost, Adrian Peterson is 32 years old. And he doesn't. And what's the offense? What's the offense? It's a throwing offense. Adrian Peterson has never had the best hands in the world. Never. He's never been a receiving back. Never. That's why he doesn't play on third downs. He's not a third down back. But he was the workhorse in Minnesota. So he was getting the ball 25 to 30 times a game. Understand what I'm saying? But no, I do feel like, no, it is the wrong system. He just needs, I just feel like Sean Payton didn't want him there. I felt like he signed to the team 2 weeks before the draft. I felt like that right there says he didn't have no other options. He should have just stayed in Minnesota for this. I just don't see it.
I guess we're going to have to see how the season just plays out.
Definitely.
That's definitely what we're going to have to do.
Definitely. So, guys, who was your NFL hero this week? Basically, any player that you thought put up huge numbers statistically or just had a stellar performance.
I actually had, it was a combination for me. I had,
Ooh.
Me too.
I had the Kansas City Chiefs stars, Kareem Hunt, rookie,
Oh my God, you stole my guy.
rushed for 148 yards, 1 touchdown, 98
I love
receiving
it.
yards,
I love
2
it.
touchdowns.
I love it.
Mixed with Alex Smith, 28 of 35 for 368 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And they beat who? The Patriots, 42-27, a beatdown.
On the road.
And outscored the Pats 21-0 in the 4th quarter. Who looked like the real GOAT that game? Was it Alex Smith or was it Tom Brady?
Ooh. Definitely Alex Smith. Yeah,
Well,
like you said, Kareem
Alex
Hunt.
Smith.
He set the NFL record, and another thing I chose him is because he destroyed the Patriots, and as a Falcons fan, that's always a good sight for you to see. So but yeah, he had a stellar performance. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all chose him. So, but yeah, definitely you said 148 yards rushing, 8 on average, and he had almost 100 yards receiving the ball. So that's
Definitely
impressive as well.
I had a couple guys as well, just like Tone did. I had T.J. Watt, the rookie, 2 sacks, an interception, a historical debut with the Steelers. Even though it was against Cleveland, still I give him his credit. It's still stellar. And I had 2 quarterbacks, Alex Smith and Matthew Stafford, Big Money Stafford, I should call him. Both threw 4 touchdown passes. How about that? Ooh. So those guys, both outstanding Week 1 performances. They're going to get that hero award. It was tough, though. I had a couple other guys, but I had to just sink it down to 3. But to get into the next topic, according to Business Insiders, only 12% of teams make the playoffs after starting 0-2. Which 0-1 team must win this weekend to keep their season alive?
Oh, well, definitely, Tone. It's going to be your Giants. They definitely need to win. So I believe Odell Beckham Jr. is out for 5 to 8 weeks.
He'll play. He'll play against the Lions.
He'll play? Okay. Oh, well, I read something wrong. But still, yeah, definitely they need to win because...
He didn't practice today, so...
it's questionable. So if he doesn't play, they definitely need to win because without him, like we discussed earlier, they're not making the wild card at best. So, yeah, definitely. They don't really need to worry about the Redskins or Eagles too much. But if Odell doesn't come back, you got a big contender. They're the Cowboys, so...
Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. Let me comment on that. They do have to worry about the Eagles and Redskins. This Giants team is in trouble offensively. Offensively, I'm questioning, are they the Jets? Have they been practicing with the Jets?
Oh,
that's what it looks like. The Bills have the best offense in New York right now. Can we agree on that? Are the Bills part of New York?
The Bills have had the best game in New York.
They're upstate.
They don't have the best. The Patriots have the best offense. They just have the best game.
He said New York. He said New York.
I'm sorry.
In New York.
But sometimes I just have to tune you out, Jensen, because sometimes you just rant and you just talk nonsense.
Do the Giants have a better offense than the Bills?
Listen. That's neither here nor there, because we're not. This question is not about offense, is it? It's not, right? But you want to bring the Giants.
I pick the Giants as well too.
You want to pick the Giants. I understand, because I'm a Giants fan. But
they ain't lost yesterday.
So it's really looking bad. He had a QBR of 0.7. Andy Dalton, 4 interceptions. Horrible. And now you know who they have coming up next? The Green Bay Packers.
The Falcons will wear them down.
Did y'all see what happened last night? 3 field goals. The Texans felt like they won the Super Bowl in the postgame. They were like, wow, is this all Cincinnati has?
I think,
I was going to pick them, but they're already 0-2.
But like you said, that 12% of the teams that ain't going to make the playoffs, I think that's going to stick with the Bengals because they're already 0-2. They've had...
That's why they're my pick.
I don't know what kind of performance you would call it. I don't know what adjective to use, but that was just ugly. I mean, I don't know. But speaking of the Falcons, last week we survived a scare against the Bears on the road, and the Packers beat the Seahawks at home 17-9. So this week we will meet Sunday night in the newly Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So who's going to win this NFC Championship rematch and why?
Well, let me get this started by saying this. The last 2 times they played NFC Championship game, Falcons dominated. 2016 meeting in the regular season, Falcons dominated. So they feel confident, obviously, against Green Bay. But I will say this. Before the season, I picked the Falcons to win this game. After what I saw in Week 1, I'm picking the Packers. Why am I picking the Packers? I love what they're doing defensively. Clay Matthews is healthy. He's getting after it. Clinton Dix, he's going to have a huge game. This Green Bay team is going to contain the Falcons. The Falcons Week 1, they looked absolutely pathetic offensively. I know in your segment you tried to make the best boost the bad situation, looking at the numbers. That's all pretty nice. But what I saw last week was a Packers defense that was gritty. They got into Seattle. They beat them down. Now they're looking at the Falcons like, look, we're going to try to get revenge on them. We're going to try to run the football. Aaron Rodgers, he loves to find Jordy Nelson in games like this. Jordy Nelson has 4 touchdowns in the past 3 games against the Falcons, which means he's going to have a big day.
Go ahead. And what I can say is I totally agree. I have the Packers winning this game. What I seen from them last week is a defense, a healthy defense, and a team that can stop the run. They were missing that last year. You know, Clay Matthews was banged up. That defense looked hurt. And, you know, that offense, you know, Aaron Rodgers is just unbelievable. And, you know, with him, he can take you but so far. But now with that defense, it looks like a defense that can win them another championship. Don't forget, the year they won, they had a top 3 defense. And it's looking healthy and strong again. And just to be honest, you know, the Falcons, I don't know, they might be hungover from that Super Bowl. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. They barely got past the second worst team in the NFL.
And let's give credit. Hold on. We got to give credit to the defensive line. The defensive line of the Packers last week dominated. We got to give them credit on that. Mike Daniels, Kenny Clark, Dean Lowry. These are guys we don't really talk about, but these guys are moving. They're moving people up front. Seattle couldn't score worth a lick last week. Definitely. And now the Falcons, are the Falcons going to be in sync? Can they find Julio more?
Now, one thing I will say, though, is if we play how we played against the Bears, we're going to lose. There's no question about it. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Falcons are a little bit rusty, like you said, from the Super Bowl and all that. But we are the better team, and we will win. We have a new stadium, so hopefully all of this will motivate them to play better.
Is that your heart saying that, or that's...
No, that is...
How do you feel you're the better team?
We're the better team. We have the better offense, clearly. Well, not off the games, but what we have, the players we have Julio Jones, Devontae Freeman, Sanu, Hooper, Hooper. We got ballers, basically, you know. And I don't think that this upgraded, the defense of theirs is going to be able to stop the Falcons' offense when we play how we are accustomed to playing. Now, last week we saw something that...
Can your defense stop Aaron Rodgers?
No, we cannot, and that's not what I'm looking at. This is going to be a shootout game. We're going to have to score a lot of points to beat the
What's the score?
to beat the Packers. I'm in the 30s.
And that's the funny part. I think the Falcons' defense, even though they're going to have some trouble with Jordy Nelson and Cobb, I think the Falcons' defense is going to hold up a little bit. I'm picking the game to be more in the 28-17 range because the Falcons' offense is like, people are seeing it coming. Like, okay, Matt Ryan, this is what you're going back to old Matt Ryan now. You had one good year, a great year, excuse me. Now you're going back to what we're accustomed to. And if they don't find Julio Jones, like that's what they need. If they don't find Julio Jones over the top, you saw what happened last week. They struggled through the first 3 quarters.
I have Packers 27-20.
33-30, somewhere around that range. I haven't really decided a number, but basic keys to the game: Vic Beasley, do what you do, pressure Aaron Rodgers. Defense, play moderately well, and offense, get back to custom what you're doing. But let's get into chances, give that man a raise, and return your paycheck.
Show me the money, show me the money. Throw 5 touchdown passes, score 30 points, throw a no-hitter, or hit a couple of home runs.
Try to make it as quick as possible.
Give that man a raise. Return your paycheck.
Try to make it as quick as possible.
Like garbage,
Quick as possible, yeah, because we're a little bit started late.
Jansen puts them in check with
Yes, it's that time again for this segment, my favorite. And we're going to start with return your paycheck. Ohio State stunk it up. And I thought to myself, who should I blame? Urban Meyer, the defense, the mascot. But we decided on JT Barrett. How pathetic JT overrated Barrett was. This man right here last week, 19 completions. 35 attempts, less than 200 yards passing, no touchdowns. He looked like a game manager. He looked like the college version of Andy Dalton. You don't want to be Andy Dalton. He needs to return his paycheck. It was supposed to be big game Barrett, and it wasn't. He didn't deliver. Ohio State now, in my opinion, shouldn't even be a question for the college football playoff. So that's my return your paycheck. And this is a special edition of my segment. We don't even have a give that man a raise. We have another return your paycheck.
Oh, God.
Because I was utterly disgusted yesterday about what I seen as we were supporting Shay, one of the reporters at one of her events, when I was watching on TV. I saw the Cincinnati Bengals look like a junior varsity offense. 2 home games. 0 touchdowns.
0.
Pathetic. They made Baltimore look like the 2000 Ravens last week. And they made the Texans look like they're going to the Super Bowl. Andy Dalton, return your paycheck. Marvin Lewis, return your paycheck.
The Bengals organization.
And return your paycheck. Because all Aaron Rodgers has to do next week is like, you know what? Let's get 1 touchdown Let's get a field goal and call it a day. And that's what it is. You're listening to Topics on IBNX Radio. Next, we're going to have Tone's segment, Tone's message, and we're going to get more into the NFL picks. And we're going to get into the big fight Saturday. Let's not forget about that. We're back. We want to take the time to thank everyone listening at home. And we want to keep everyone in our prayers who was affected by Hurricane Irma in Florida and in some parts of Georgia.
Definitely.
Dak Prescott, back to football, and Ezekiel Elliott both played well in Week 1's division victory over Tone's New York Giants. The Broncos also won a big division game Monday night, defeating the Chargers 24-21. The Cowboys will play the Broncos in Mile High Sunday afternoon. Who wins this game?
One big question. Is Elliott playing? So it seems like he is, I guess.
He's playing.
He's playing. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on with that whole thing.
Yeah, I don't blame you either.
So
every different outlet is something different. NFL don't know what's going on either.
So presuming he plays, I have the Cowboys winning. I don't think the Broncos can stop them defensively. Even though they have a really good defense, I think it's too much. Elliott and Prescott and.
What do you think the score is going to be?
Score is probably going to be around the 28-14 or 21, 28. Let me go 28-21. That's a comfortable.
I picked the Cowboys as. I picked the Cowboys as well. I picked them winning 17-13. I think Elliott. People don't see this coming, but I think he's going to have at least 100 yards. He's going to sneak into it, get those tough yards in the third quarter, fourth quarter. I think he's going to pound that out. Dak Prescott. He reminds me of Roethlisberger when he just came out. People want to say game manager. I like to say smart. Him, smart. He plays smart. He's not going to turn the ball over. I like him over Trevor Siemian. I think Simeon's going to turn the ball over when it matters the most in the fourth quarter. I think Dallas's defense is maturing. I think Orlando Scandrick's going to play well. I see the defensive line stepping up. I'm not sold on the Broncos' running game. Mainly their running game is inconsistent. Their passing game, it's coming on a little bit, but
They played well.
I think Dallas is definitely going to win this game. Jason Witten and Des Bryant, I can't forget about them either. Those two guys, veterans, they're going to make big plays in the fourth quarter. A couple big plays, not a lot, because Denver's defense will kind of keep it close. 17-13, again, Cowboys.
I totally disagree. I don't have Dallas going in there winning. On the road, I feel it's going to be definitely a ground out game. It's going to be close. I have Denver winning 13-10.
Ooh, okay.
A very close game. I just feel playing in Mile High, that defense is stout. You already know that defense, that front four, even them safeties. I just feel that offense will make the right plays at the right time to win the game. You know, I can't say anything bad about Dallas. I just feel like that defense is going to stop them enough times that it will help their offense get what's needed to win the game.
It is a tough road game, too.
It's very going a Mile High. That's a very difficult game.
So
I just feel
I
Denver's
I can see why Denver's favored in this
you
game.
could look at it both ways. I totally understand why both of you go with Dallas, you know. But
Definitely.
I just feel Denver's gonna pull this one out.
Yeah. So another primetime game. Patriots versus the Saints. Who do y'all have?
I love this matchup. I love it. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, two future Hall of Famers. Both defenses really reeling. Pathetic performances. We saw Sam Bradford look like a quality quarterback. We've seen Alex Smith look like a top 5 quarterback. But I'm picking the Saints in this game. And I'm going to tell you why I'm picking the Saints. The Saints in the Superdome are awesome. Remember, Drew Brees is the only quarterback to ever throw 5 touchdown passes on a Bill Belichick defense. That's going to come into hand. This Patriots defense is in trouble. They can't stop anything. If Alex Smith could do 4 touchdown passes, what can Drew Brees do? This is going to be a rebound game for them. And the Superdome, like I said before, they're hard to beat when they're at home. And Adrian Peterson is going to have a better game. You saw what Hunt did. Adrian Peterson should have a better game. Second game in the system. Even though I don't believe in their system, another week, him and Sean Payton make up a little bit, get a couple more carries, give my boy like 15 carries. He's going to do his thing, score a touchdown.
So you definitely had to look up that stat about Drew Brees.
Yeah, you had to dig in that one.
5 5 touchdowns
When you hate the
against
Patriots,
a
you find
Bill
it.
Belichick team. So, did you look up Tom Brady's wins and losses after coming off a loss?
Yeah, it's very rare.
It's not very likely that he will lose back-to-back games. Let's throw that out there right now. I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but you got to call a spade a spade. The Saints are not good. And
Defensively.
right now, defensively they're not good. Offensively, they have one outlet. I mean, because right now,
They're a different team, though.
discombobulated.
They're a different team at home.
They're discombobulated. They have running back by committee. You have an unhappy AP. You're sharing carries with your Pro Bowler, with the rookie. He's a third down back. The rookie's a third down back because he can catch out the backfield, but Ingram can as well. They still need time to get that system in order. I don't feel this is the week that they're going to get it in order. It's only week 2, and the Patriots coming off a loss, highly unlikely that they'll lose this game. Tom Brady will not have that same performance at all, especially not against the same defense.
No, it'll be
Not at all. I know the Superdome, is going to be great, but not at all.
But,
I have Patriots winning.
speaking of Vikings, Sam Bradford, he looked impressive, throwing 3 touchdowns against those Saints on Monday night. Stephon Diggs caught 2 of those touchdown grabs. Will the Vikings improve to 2-0 on the road against the Steelers? Real quick.
See, the Vikings had a better performance in Game 1 than the Steelers had. Honestly, it really looked like a 5th preseason game for them. But with that being said, I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I feel like they'll offense, with Roethlisberger. I think he's gonna finally,
Yeah. You think Le'Veon Bell's going to have a better game,
yeah,
too?
definitely.
10 carries, 32 yards. That wasn't good. He's going to rebound.
Yeah,
At home.
Yeah, at home. So I don't think the Vikings are gonna do too much damage. I feel like it'll be a close game. I have the Steelers 28-21. So look out for a close game. And when you look at it, the Steelers have one of the best home records against the AFC. So I mean, I don't know how much that's gonna help, but based off history, they play really well at home against AFC teams. So yeah, 28-21 for the Steelers for me.
I got 17-13. What about you, Tone? 17-13 Steelers.
The Vikings won't win this game at all.
Yeah,
I'm not
tough.
even thinking. The Vikings will not win this game. I don't trust Sam Bradford. They went 5-0 last year and lost a million games afterwards. Get them out of here. I don't care. I have Steelers winning this game. Big Ben. You got Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. They're at home.
Easy money?
Easy money.
Like Tone said,
I have
easy
them
money.
21-7.
21-7.
Yes. Easy money. But we can't forget the big event this weekend. Big fight between Canelo Alvarez.
Big fight.
49, 1-1, 34 knockouts against the undefeated Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. 37-0, 33 KOs, 18 straight middleweight title defenses. Who wins this super fight and how? Goron, you first.
Ooh. So, for the winner, I'm going to have to go with my boy Canelo. So, I mean, Triple G does look great. I'm sorry, he is great. I'm very excited for the fight. And actually a real boxing fight this time.
Shots fired.
No shots fired, but the WBA and IF titles will be on the line. But yeah, I'm going with Canelo in a ninth round knockout. He's what? What do you mean what? He's definitely to me the better fighter. He has more fights under his belt than
So more fights?
No, it's not more fights. You got to look at his track record.
I can't hear it. Let me hear it.
Look at his track record. Who has Canelo lost to?
Who has Canelo? Everybody says this. Everybody says, oh, Triple G is younger. He hasn't fight that many people. Canelo fought people with names. Tell me this. Who did Canelo fight with a name in their prime? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Hold on one second.
No. I want you to answer that question. Who was in their prime when Canelo fought them?
Miguel Cotto was not washed up.
Are you serious? He didn't fight
The
back.
only guy
Are you
washed up.
serious?
Wait a minute. Wait, let me finish.
Come
the
on.
only guy washed up that I'm about to name is Sugar Shane Mosley. But I still listed Sugar Shane Mosley. He beat, knocked out Amir Khan.
Amir Khan had no punching power for him.
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Carlos Baldomir.
The only thing good about him was his name, his father's name. Just stop it.
Wait a minute.
Let's be honest here.
He's 27 years old. He's got better since the Floyd Mayweather.
Yes, he did.
defeat.
I don't take that away from him.
And let's look at Gennady Golovkin. Who has he beat?
That's what you. And the same thing I'm saying about Canelo. No.
When he
You're
fought,
telling you,
wait a minute.
people saying that Canelo's gonna win. I don't see it. Triple G is the bigger fighter. I feel he will hold him off. He's a straightforward guy. So I think he will keep him off with his jab. and keep him away from getting hit with that left hook. But
All I have to say
basically-
is Triple G, congratulations on your first loss.
we'll see that.
I have
now.
Canelo decision.
Yeah, if you say so. But next up, we're going into my segment. So let's talk about it. This is a great moment, I feel, for just society and American history itself. It's about an iconic banner that hung on the top of the Green Monster in the most iconic parks in baseball history. Fenway Park, which read, "Racism is as American as baseball." The reason I feel this is a great moment is because of a few reasons. The people who did it. 5 white men. The park they did it in. Fenway Park. And where's Fenway Park? In Boston. Boston has been known to be one of the racist cities in America, in American history.
Very true.
Dating back 60s, 80s, however many years you want to go back to the most recent times of now. And you look at baseball. Baseball is an American pastime. And what's racism? Racism is an American pastime. A lot of people don't want to touch on this, but this symbolism showed a lot. 5 white men brought in a banner, basically hid in a banner, because you're not supposed to bring any banners into any baseball fields. They snuck it in, and on top of the Green Monster. Now, baseball is watched all over the world. Everybody's seen this. A lot of people don't want to touch on this. Some people will, some people will like it, some people won't. But it brought light to something that we've been talking about for a long time. And the reason it did is because, people won't start listening until one of their own brings it to light. African Americans have been fighting against racism forever. But now you have 5 anti-racism white people that brought this banner. And again, it read, "Racism is as American as baseball." Baseball is as American as you can get. But I just wanted to leave that there. It wasn't a high note, but it wasn't a low note. It was an important note.
Very true.
So, let me go into my message. My philosophy is that you don't do something until you get it right. You do something until you can't get it wrong. Again, let me repeat that. My philosophy is that you don't do something until you get it right. You do something until you get it wrong. That was by Gino Auriemma, Connecticut women's basketball coach.
Very, very good quote.
Legendary quote.
Legendary quote. But unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank everyone for tuning in, and make sure to tune in every Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. And make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at T.O.P.I.C.S ATL.
Yes, remember you are what you focus on, and go see the replay on YouTube.
Yes, topics out, player.
I brought a pen this time.